I'm sure, like a lot of you, I've been a huge Edward Norton fan for a long time. It almost goes without saying, but he knows how to pick some amazing projects, and within those projects, he's come up against some formidable antagonists. As an actor, he's faced off against The Abomination, Hannibal Lecter, even his own Twisted Mind. And as a producer, he's gone up against the script, the lead actor, the editing, the concept itself. Welcome to Real School, the film course you wanted to take because that vocal class with the hot redhead was full. I'm your host, Michael Wynne Johnson, and today I will be reviewing Edward Norton's sophomore directorial effort, Motherless Brooklyn. So, confession time. I saw this movie weeks ago at TIFF, and I just couldn't write this review because I still am not completely sure what I want to say about this movie. Oh, okay, well that's a different approach. I started the video without knowing what I was going to do. Okay, well, I'll just turn the camera off, I guess. It's just that there is so much to unravel in this movie, both good and bad, but I think we should really start with producer, writer, director, actor, hula hooper, Edward Norton, because it's going to take most of this video just to list all of the jobs he had on this film. As you can probably guess, this was a passion project for Edward Norton because he even said he had to call in every single favor in Hollywood he could think of just to get this movie made. But immediately, after hearing that, I asked, why was this the story he really wanted to tell? The story is probably where I had the most issue with Motherless Brooklyn, but the premise is simple enough. Lionel Esrog, played by Norton, is a man with Tourette's who works for a private investigator played by Bruce Willis. Willis one day is murdered, and Norton's character has to figure out why. A nice tight neo-noir premise, right? Absolutely. But by the time this movie finishes, it has meandered so much that we have subplots about gentrification, a brotherly rift, love affairs, illegitimate children, race relations, and all that jazz. I mean that literally. There's jazz in this movie too. It's weird because I like jazz, I just never really fully understood it. If only Ryan Gosling were here to explain it. I also question why writer-director Norton chose this project specifically because there are so many moving parts. Perhaps that's why. Perhaps he wanted the challenge. Perhaps he wanted to try to create his own cinematic jazz song. And I chose that word very carefully. Tried. It would start off very kinetic, very energetic. A lot of jazz music was actually playing, but then the rest of the film would kind of slow down and be smooth and low-key. Norton's character, Esrog, was a lot like that as well. He had a lot of energy, he would bring the movie up at times, but then other times he would be very low-key and smooth things over. And while he has gone on record as saying that he's played Esrog for laughs at times, to be a little sympathetic, I never felt like he was insulting people with Tourette's, and that's important, because the way that he played it not only gave the film a lot of energy, but he also had to carry the film, and he pulled that off. And I have to admit, I was a little nervous because if anybody's seen the score, you know at times that Norton doesn't always play people with mental disabilities with subtlety. Norton, director, also cast very well, and he said at TIFF that he wanted to bring in a lot of old school New York theater actors, and I actually really enjoyed that about this movie. That also includes iconic actors like Willem, Dafoe, and Alec Baldwin who have made names for themselves on New York stages. Alec Baldwin specifically really knocked this one out of the park. He gave it a lot of energy, like he was shouting it out to the cheap seats in the back of the theater. But you know what? It worked for his character, a rude, brash, take-no-nonsense politician. But you would also assume at this point he should be really good at playing that kind of character. But then the rest of the cast, while strong, never really felt like they gelled. It almost felt like they belonged in different films. Bobby Cannavale played an over-the-top tough guy like he has before, but then Cherry Jones gave a very grounded performance. And then Leslie Mann kind of felt like she belonged in a Judd Apatow comedy, but then Dallas Roberts gave us a really real character. It was almost as if they showed up at different times in the movie and never really knew what the movie was supposed to be about. This also gave you several different tones for this film, which can work for a movie, but with Motherless Brooklyn, once again, it just felt disjointed, kind of like the cast. I felt like it should have focused on one or two of those tones to really make this neo-noir a little tighter. But there were a lot of things that made this neither tight nor a neo-noir. Noir should really tap into something deep inside of you. It should grab you emotionally. You should relate to something that you see on the screen. But with Motherless Brooklyn, I felt that things were either too personal for Esrog and therefore you didn't relate, or they were too grand, too political, and therefore you were disconnected. And when it all wrapped up, after 2+ hours of this mystery, the conclusion, the payoff, was very disappointing. The mystery was explained, there was a little bit of a twist, but it wasn't exactly groundbreaking, and so I left this movie feeling really unfulfilled. What I'm saying is, deep down inside, fill me up, Edward Norton. On that last fantastic jazzy note, let me just say the Motherless Brooklyn wasn't exactly disappointing. It just felt like a film that never congealed, that the script and the characters were never on the same page. And you know what? That makes it a burn it. A burn it that happens to fall on writer, director, and producer Edward Norton. Poll question, what's been your favorite movie by a writer slash director slash actor slash whatever? As always, leave your answers in the comment section below. But until next time, school's out. Hey Real students, thanks for watching. If you want to subscribe to Real School, click that round Real School logo right beside me. Also click that damn notification bell so you're aware of all of Real School's new content. You can follow me on Twitter, and of course, if you get anything out of Real School, you can always give a little back. Just click the link in the description below or the button down there, and you can become part of my Patreon team.